Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of How Broken is YouTube? My name is Gareth Evans and joining me today is Mr. Henry, the operator Cooper.
I feel like the way you said that, another episode of How Broken is YouTube, and make a new jingle for it, for this one-off sort of episode.
We do need a jingle for that, and I'm pretty sure it won't be a one-off episode either. We're dealing with a lot of shit with YouTube now, so this is a different type of video to fill you guys in with what's been happening with matters concerning this channel, as well as matters concerning everything else that I've been dealing with, because the stuff I'm dealing with over on my other channel does have huge implications for the future of this channel, which we'll get into during this video. I guess I should start at the beginning.
Yeah, what's happened and what's been happening and what's yet to happen and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, I run a guitar channel, Goliath Guitar Tutorials or Gareth Evans, whatever. I've been on YouTube for over 10 years on that channel, generating guitar lesson content. And a lot of my content includes guitar lessons, obviously, and guitar covers and stuff like that. So I've been giving 5 copyright strikes out of the blue on that channel. And I was given practically no information about why my content was being claimed. From my understanding, it was from UMPG, Universal, and Warner representative Faber, Muso, TNT, whatever it is. Big industry, music industry figures, essentially. So they were claiming copyright of my videos, and I had no idea why, because the form that YouTube sends me to say I've got a copyright strike just said manually detective, and they should be telling me what was the problem with the video. So I need to find out what's the problem with my video. I'm currently every video I upload gets claimed a copyright claim on it from YouTube because there's music associated with it, and then a revenue sharing deal kicks in with those videos. And then a portion of the money gets attributed to the publishers who own the rights to that music. Mechanical license, it's called. It's very popular, well done, right? However, me to get a copyright strike on these videos that those publishers themselves are already monetizing, bit strange, right? What's going on? 5 copyright strikes means my channel's getting deleted. 3 strikes is the threshold. 3 strikes and you're out is YouTube's policy. My channel is due for deletion on the 21st of September. All right. That's a bit worrying. So the problem with that is, if that happens, YouTube's policy is I'm not allowed to own any more channels. And for those of you who aren't familiar, Henry's the face of PGG. Henry runs PGG day to day. However, I technically own it. So if my guitar channel goes down, PGG is no longer allowed to exist because I own it, as well as my other guitar channel. And that's the problem for PGG. That's the problem for everybody involved in this situation, is that if YouTube's policy, adheres to the policy and the copyright strikes remain, everything's gone. It's nuked. So that's the big problem here. And I don't know how much detail do you want me to go into? I mean, I've published a video on just a brief summary. I published the video. I was getting no response from YouTube. Tell me what I've done wrong so I can fix it in future. Don't strike my channel 3 times on old content without giving me an opportunity to fix it. Otherwise, all that is just harsh punishment without the opportunity for me to rehabilitate. The problem turned out, I contacted one of the claimants because YouTube are a bunch of chocolate spanners. They don't know. The YouTube support can't help me. They absolutely no information. I contacted them and said, sorry, we don't have the information. I was like, how can you not have the information? How have you let them, how have you accepted their claim on my content, having provided no information or proof that they own my content? How is that even right? Anyway, I kicked a big stink about it. I made a video about it. And a lot of people agreed, and someone posted it to Reddit, and it ended up on the front page of Reddit, which was pretty heartening, actually. The fact that over 100,000, around 100,000 people have upvoted it on Reddit, it got to the front page of Reddit. I think it was the 3rd one down at its peak, and a load of publicity, loads of people. I think the Quartering made a video on it. I mean, I've made it now. I've been noticed by the Quartering. Philip DeFranco didn't know. I mean, he's an ignorant bastard, isn't he? I'm still waiting to hear back off Keemstar, and I'm scarce. I'm still waiting to see if they want to cover the story. But like I said, yeah, it's got a lot of traction in the media and social media, and that's the only reason why YouTube actually responded to me with the details that they put in that the claimants put in the claim. So they sent the actual information that the film was filmed out by the YouTube legal team. That, the fact I've had to kick up such a stink to get that was ridiculous. So I got that information, and the only thing that they filled out when describing exactly what I've done wrong in my video was the name of the song. And I'm like, what the actual hell is this? All that they've said is, this is the name of the song. It doesn't say exactly what specifically in the video is that the problem. It doesn't say that they own it, that what they own it, what exactly was their rights. Nothing at all, no detail, and that's a scandal. That's an absolute scandal. The way that YouTube are allowing people to claim other people's content on YouTube and resulting in their copyright strikes and possible termination if they do it 3 times, spuriously claiming these videos out of the blue, providing no information or proof. That's an absolute scandal. And that is the problem that a lot of creators have fallen foul to. And if I hadn't got to the front page of Reddit for it, who knows? My channel might have just been... YouTube would have quite happily allowed this situation to pan out, just to play out with the termination of my channel. That's the automated system. And
that's the thing. None of this is new. None of this is new. It's happened over and over and over again for so many different people, and YouTube just don't do anything about it.
I've seen it happen. I've seen it to other creators. I've seen other creators that my channel's been shut down. I was lucky. I had a second channel with 70,000 subscribers on it that I was able to post my video and get a little bit of traction before someone picked it up and sent it to... If I didn't have that second channel, my channel would have been gone. I've heard since then that people in the same position as me, guitar tutors, have had this happen to them and gone. I can't remember the name of the channel, but one channel just disappeared, and they're like, what's going on? So anyway, what is the problem with the videos? I actually found out what the problem with the videos was by contacting the guy from UMPG, and he confirmed it was the graphical license on the video, guitar lesson videos for the guitar notation, or the tabs, the guitar tabs on the bottom of the screen. Although I do have the mechanical license facilitated by YouTube and the back end of YouTube and the revenue share system that happens with me and the publishers on that, I don't have the I don't have the graphical license for the tabs to be displayed on screen. Okay, now I know what the problem is. I was always under the impression that because I'm generating the tabs myself, because I'm using it for educational purposes, because I'm not affecting their opportunity to generate revenue from whatever tabs they're doing, because mine is all different. I thought it would fall under fair use under the DMCA. Obviously, the publishers are going to think differently because I'm an opportunity to make money from them. So they're putting the squeeze down on me. YouTube are allowing it because their systems are shit, and I'm left with my balls in the vice of the publishing companies, the music publishing companies, and that's the situation. That's how.
Because you're not taking money away from them. They're not losing money.
I'm not selling or generating revenue directly from selling these tabs.
It's just an opportunity for them to gain money from you. They're not losing anything at the moment, or the years that you've been doing it.
And they're using this flawed YouTube copyright strike system in order to gain leverage over me, because they know that 3 strikes and my channel's gone. So I have to react. I have to do something. And that's what's scandalous about it. The way that YouTube facilitated this whole situation and allowed them to gain so much, sway over me, gain this leverage over me.
And YouTube didn't tell you any of that, right? You only found that out because you spoke to Universal and Warner that they have this specific problem.
Yeah.
If you were told that, you can then be like, okay, I'll remove those videos, I'll private them, and then moving forward, be like, okay, I won't put the graphic thing up with the tabs, so then you can't complain about it. But instead, they've just, without giving you an opportunity to correct it or move forward, they've just shutting you down.
Yeah, there are 2 big problems in the YouTube system here for me. Actually 3. One, that they're allowing people to make claims on other people's content without providing sufficient or detailed information, so that I can't rectify my issue with my videos. 2, that they're allowing people to strike other people's channels on the retrospective content, on their old content, and not providing me an opportunity to rehabilitate or not do that in future. It's a 3 strikes and you're out policy on YouTube. This isn't required by law, to my understanding. I'm pretty sure this isn't the law. YouTube are required by law to take the videos down. They're not required by law to strike my channel and terminate me after 3 strikes. That's YouTube's own policy. YouTube has decided to do that as a private company, to my understanding again. So again, it's such a flawed system, and YouTube doesn't allow me, like I said, the opportunity to correct my mistakes, having learned what my mistake is. And the third problem is, obviously, for creators like me who, generating this high quality guitar tuition content with the tabs on the screen, this is I'm slipping down the cracks of the YouTube publisher agreement that they've got in place in terms of music publisher licenses on YouTube. YouTube came up with this agreement a few years ago where people are allowed to cover songs on YouTube now, and then they share a lot of the revenue with the publishers. But this is just one instance where the music industry cannot license the graphical what's the word? Sorry, my brain's a bit fried after all this the last couple of days. They cannot license my graphics on the screen because YouTube don't facilitate that. So their only option to get it taken down is to strike my content, which obviously results in my termination. So those 3 things need looking at. And luckily enough, the main guy, the managing director of YouTube UK, I've reached out to him on Twitter, and he private messaged me and said, send me everything in an email and I'll take a look at it. I can't promise anything. So I did that last night, and hopefully, I've outlined all the problems that I've had and suggested some corrective actions or things that they could do to help prevent people like me, or creators like me in future, from this happening to them, because this whole situation has been a one whole clusterfuck. Yeah. And hopefully YouTube can see, because it's only because it's got so much media attention that this, they're even paying attention, which is absolutely criminal. They think that the system's fine, but the creators are really getting no support at all, and they're not being protected from this abuse. Because anybody can, how easy it is to strike a channel. All you got to do is fill out a form, stick in some false information, and then VPN your connection, and it's simple. And then YouTube is just like, yeah, okay, without even looking at the claim itself. There's not one human being reached out to me from YouTube during this whole situation until I kicked up a shitstorm. So that is the situation. Sorry, I did rant on a bit then, but
that's all right.
I think
that's exactly what this video is. It's just an update on the situation. My apologies if it's not particularly interesting to watch, but it's important, and it has very real implications for PGG, because if YouTube do follow through with their policy of 3 strikes and you're out on this channel, but also all the other ones, then PGG's fucked too.
Yeah, I suppose it's gone. I mean, one other thing I do want to, one other backstory before we go into the rest of it is, I had a meeting with the guy from UMPG yesterday on Zoom. Obviously, he's got my balls in a vice at this point, and he comes at it from a perspective where he wants to make sure, he said basically he wants either the content to not be there, or me to license and pay them royalties for, pay them their fair share. Which I guess is fine if my content is indeed needs to be licensed and it doesn't fall under fair use, which is another separate issue, which I can't really fight at this point, because I want to. It's either go to court and fight that, and it's going to cost me in excess of 30 grand at the very least to do that, which I don't have, or just abide by their rulings and their requirements. So. I come to some sort of agreement with him where I take down. I've done that now. I've taken down all possible possibly infringing content from YouTube and from my associated website, Goliath Guitar Tutorials, which I've always distributed for free, by the way, for those of you thinking, well, you're making money off it. I've never sold anything. I've always provided my content 100% free, which is how I think it was fair use. Anyway, everything's down now, and that was, in his mind, because I'm entering the negotiation to licensing now, he can release the copyright strikes. Hopefully, fingers crossed, he did send that email to the legal department, and that those strikes get taken off sooner rather than later. I'm refreshing my phone every minute to get email notifications, but once that happens, I'm pretty safe then, because I've got no more infringing content out there on YouTube and I can't be struck again. But that's just 3 strikes. So there's another 2 strikes from a different company. Like I said, it's Faber International acting on behalf of Warner's artists, but it's Faber, and Faber are doing it through Muso. So Muso are the ones that struck the whole Last of Us Part 2 content recently. I was going to say they're just a middle company. They're just doing what they're told. They're getting paid to do a job. They're not the ones to get angry at, honestly. And for my communications with Muso, they're just like, well, I'll forward this on to the people who pay my bills, essentially. I saw the quarter and getting really angry with them. It's not really them. It's the people who tell them or pay them the money to do what they do. So that's the situation as it is. Hopefully it can be resolved. And once I get my channel back, I can work on how to generate content in the future without breaking their rules, essentially.
Yeah.
But as it stands, though,
leads into what's next.
Yeah, as it stands, though, it could just well be a guys, and they could still be trying to put a lawsuit against me together, and my channel should still be deleted on Sunday along with everything else. So that's why we're letting you guys know, because there is still a risk of that happening.
Yeah. And then going forward, so you've done the whole process when you get a strike is you can appeal. Like 99% of the time, that doesn't do anything. You've spoken to the claimants with Universal and had your meetings with them, which seem to have come to a sort of compromise, but only on one of the problems. And there's all these other problems that aren't getting solved, especially on YouTube's end. But you've started uploading to other platforms, right? So what do we need to know about all that?
Well, yeah, basically I've you're hedging your bets now, because YouTube's so broken. I'm really disenfranchised with the whole platform, the fact that it allows this to happen. So yeah, obviously getting on other platforms. There's ones like BitChute, which I haven't really looked at yet, because there's a lot of it's all about free speech, that one. There's a lot of right-wing content on there, so I'm not sure whether there's it's a bit dubious joining that one, because you might be associated with that sort of political them sort of political leaning.
Yeah, so and just because PGG's not a political channel, we don't really want to be in that space.
But there is one called Library, LBRY, and their kind of video branch, which is called Odysee, ODYSEE, which is basically a blockchain. It's based on blockchain technology, where your videos aren't just uploaded onto one server; it's distributed across the whole internet. So it's not one place, and it's everywhere essentially. So it basically a bit more protection, but I'm not sure how that works. But you monetize on day one on there, and they also integrate your back catalog of videos when you sign up. So I've got 2 guitar channels which I've already backed up. The PGG channel is currently being backed up to Odysee 2. So very shortly, hopefully in the next couple of days, I'll get a link to our new profile on Odysee, which was basically a replica of the YouTube channel with all the graphics and all the thumbnails and all the back catalogue with the videos and stuff. And then if worst comes to worst, we can just hit the ground running over on that and keep producing over there. So we don't have to stop producing if the worst happens, because I've always got to think, like, if the worst happens, how do we keep going? Luckily, we've got the Patreon supporters, and they should be able to keep us running for the foreseeable. Now, obviously, a lot of questions might be, what can we do to help? How can we help you out? Obviously, I've had the opportunity to talk to a lot of people over this last couple of days. It's just been a whole, it's been a blur for me the last few days, all the shit I've been dealing with and people I've been talking to and emailing and stuff like that. But the one thing that you can do for sure is following us on other platforms, because if YouTube goes, you want to stay in touch with us, you must be able to find us elsewhere. So definitely follow us on Twitter for one. We'll notify you on Twitter. Support us on Patreon. The more support that we get on Patreon, the less reliance we have on YouTube, and we could just stop producing on YouTube and just fuck them. We'll go elsewhere. We'll go to Odysee and just do that in future, because obviously we do generate some revenue from YouTube. It's not a lot, but that helps us keep going at the current state. So if you can help us over on Patreon, then we can generate content for you no matter what, no matter where we are. And that's the bottom line. And again, stay up to date with us. If you can't do that, then stay up to date with us by following us on Twitter, because that's the only other social platform that's kind of active right now. I'm going to give Henry the login details so we can keep everyone updated with that too. So yeah, that's what you can do as viewers, as supporters who like our content and want to see it persevere regardless of what happens, what the shit that's happening with YouTube.
Well, I don't really have anything to add. I've not been part of this because it's all been Gaz's thing, so I've been very quiet in this one. Just let you do your thing. But if you've got anything else to add. Yeah,
I appreciate you being here, because the last video that I published, it was just like highly scripted, and it's pretty stressful doing those videos. But the opportunities to discuss it with you like this, is obviously welcome for me, considering the shit I've been going through. But I've got a couple of questions here from the Discord. What Earthwind Bem asks, what were you actually in breach of? I think I've described that, which was the graphical licensing on the tabs. And that's it. So why they do that? Yeah. So in summary, this whole situation has highlighted a number of fundamental flaws with the YouTube copyright claim and partner support system. The fact that over 10 years of service on YouTube, over 800 videos on YouTube, over 120 million views on YouTube, and revenue sharing the whole way. They're quite happy to take a cut of that money, but they have almost close to zero personal support for me when I need it the most. And that's what's the worst about YouTube. That's what really highlights the problems, is that they seemingly don't care whether YouTubers come and go. It's just scandalous, really. But like I said, we're going to Odysee. I'm going to look at other sites like Rumble. There's there's a bunch of other ones. I'll make sure that if whatever happens, we'll share it on the Twitter, so you guys can keep updated. I know I'm rambling, going around in circles now, but that is the situation. That's how bad it is. That's your update, and unless you got anything else to say, Henry.
Not really.
That's it then. Thanks for watching, guys, and we hopefully will continue to produce content for you no matter what. Definitely over on Odysee, that is for sure. So we will see you again next time. Until then, thanks for watching. Bye for now.